What's up, family? I just felt the urge to make a quick video on how to achieve your desire, whatever your desire may be. Now, I know that's kind of a bold statement to make, but this is a technique that I've been applying to my life for the past 7 or so years consciously, and it has never failed me. I am living a life where I all I see are my desires around me, and I know a lot of at least my Facebook friends, they seem to have fallen into this as well. It seems that they're living the life of their dreams, and my only motivation for making this video is because I want the people around me to live the life of their dreams. Now, I'm not coming to you with some prescriptive method that will for sure work. It's possible that what I'm about to say may not work for you. However, I thought I should share it, and if it resonates with you, I highly encourage that you put it to the test. If you think it won't work, prove me wrong. Try it. But I've seen it work on many, many occasions in other people's life and in my life. I could enumerate the vast number of ways in which this has been successful for me, but it would start to feel like I'm bragging, and I don't want to do that. So let me hop into the technique. There are 4 things that you need to do in order to achieve your desires. You have to clearly state your desire. You have to desire. That's 1. 2, you have to act with intention. Act with intention. 3, you have to trust life. And 4, you have to allow it to happen. You have to allow it to happen. Now, I'll go into each of those with a little bit more depth. So the first one, stating your desire. This is something that is easier said than done, because it is, in my experience, it is possible to get this wrong. And let me tell you how you can get it wrong. There are 2 ways in which I'm thinking of right now in which you can get it wrong. One is if you're stating a desire that isn't really your desire. It's maybe you're being influenced by other people and you just want someone else to like you. So you're going to desire something of yourself just so you can be liked by other people. It's really important, or maybe your desire isn't something that'll be fulfilling, but it's just a desire that's based in fear. I think that type of desire, you really know if you're stating a true desire if the idea gets you excited, if it evokes tickly feelings in your stomach, if it gets you, that pumped up energy, then you're dealing with a true desire, right? So make sure that when you state your desire, it is your true desire. Make sure it's something that's getting you excited, as opposed to just a response to wanting to be liked by other people, or wanting to, like a fear-based desire. Another way in which you can get this wrong is if you kind of state your desire too narrowly and you haven't properly interrogated the desire. Let me give you an example. So say you see this pretty person, right? And you're like, oh, my desire is I want this pretty person, this person right there, to love me, to like me, to want me sexually, right? Well, what if that person was the next day accused of pedophilia, right? Accused of some horrific crime, right? Would you still want that person? Probably not. Well, does this mean that your love life is shot? That was your one. That's the only person you wanted to express yourself with in that way? No, it's not, right? Because what you really wanted was not that specific person. What you really wanted was companionship. What you really wanted was love, right? So stating your desire too narrowly is another way in which you can get this wrong. But I cannot stress how important it is to state what you want. Do you want a lot of money? Do you want happiness? Do you want health? Like, whatever. I don't care what it is. I'm not here to judge you, right? But it's so important to state what you want. What is your desire, right? And be clear about that. That's the first step. State your desire. You have to desire. And you know you're going in the right spot, going into the right spot when the desire, when the idea is getting you excited, right? That's a sign. Okay. The next step to achieving your desires, whatever they may be, is to act with intention, right? I believe the Bible says faith without works is dead. It's not enough to merely desire and then sit around and do nothing. No, your actions must reflect that desire, right? Your actions must reflect that desire. So one way in which people trip up here is when they start acting in ways that counteract their desire. And this acting isn't necessarily a physical movement. This can just be the way you're thinking, your verbal speech, your mental speech. So, for example, I was talking with a friend. I asked him, well, what do you desire? I love asking people what they desire. What do they want, right? And he told me, well, I want a job right now. And then he immediately said, half a second later, but then my last job fired me, and because, he went into an explanation about all the ways in which, why he couldn't get a new job. And I was just like, whoa, I didn't ask any of that. Like, why are you bringing in all of this unimportant energy to this desire? And this is something that we really have to watch. We do. It's almost like unconscious training where we'll speak a desire and then immediately we'll start having all of this mental speech about why the desire is not possible, why we're unworthy of this desire. That's extremely harmful. On an energetic level, it's like it's diluting that pure energy that desire was giving you. On another level, it's giving your mind a metric for failure, right? It's allowing, come on, kitty. It's allowing your mind to recognize what failure will look like, right? And when you've set up what failure will look like, it'll be very easy to spot and very easy to give up and extinguish your desire, right? So acting with intention is more than just going through the motions, but it's also that inner speech that we engage ourselves with and that outer speech that we talk to other people about, right? Don't act in a way that counteracts your desire. But also, if you have a desire for a job, by acting with intention, I mean, if you happen to see, if you're walking down the street, you happen to see a job application, apply to it, right? What I have found is that when I state my desire clearly, life will start putting little bitty clues, little bitty signposts all around me. And it's up to me to act on those signposts, to act with this intention towards my desire, right? So acting with intention, right? Planting the seeds. It's not enough to merely decide what you want to grow. You have to start planting the seeds. Now, the third one is going to be a little tricky for people, and this is trusting life. What I have found, and this is going to be very tough for some people, what I have found is that there seems to be, and I say seem to on purpose because I'm not 100% sure. It's possible that I've just been lucky or that this has all been coincidence, but there seems to be a correlation between the amount of faith that I have that life will bring me to a point where I can enact my desire and my desire actually being enacted. If I do not believe that life can get, that life is abundant enough to help me manifest my desire, it doesn't seem to happen. But when I have a silent faith, I'm sure it'll work. Life It works. And I don't know why this keeps happening. And this faith is something that perhaps needs to be cultivated. Maybe it's something that, you're just not born with, like, oh, I know that life is going to, help me manifest our desire. Because oftentimes, at least in my life, the universe has shown itself to be kind of rough, to be kind of tough, And this faith in the abundance of the universe is something that I had to cultivate. And it started with small desires, right? With things that weren't quite groundbreaking, shattering, right? And seeing it happens. And because this way of approaching my desire keeps delivering, it keeps delivering for me, I have cultivated such a strong faith to the point where I am like, say, I'm not 100% sure that this will work for everyone or that this works in all cases. That's why I am putting it to the test. So I'm now asking for very big desires. I'm talking like, how do I want my life to like be, right? What are some groundbreaking things what are some groundbreaking ways in which this life can express itself, right? And I'm really putting this to the test. But if you don't quite trust that life is abundant enough to give you your desire, maybe start with a small thing. Maybe look into other people's stories. But I have found that this faith in life, in the abundance of life, is very important. Very important. You have to believe that it's possible. I'm saying essentially you have to believe that it's possible. Because if you do not, it will not happen. That's a prerequisite. And the fourth thing that you need to do is allow it to happen. We live in the dimension of space-time. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but here we are. Things take time. When you plant a seed, it doesn't grow like that. You have to give it its moment. But what happens if you plant a seed and you keep picking at it and you keep opening it up, maybe you like take it out of the ground to see how it is, then you're ruining that process, right? That growth process, that manifestation process. So what I have found is that it's very important to allow your desire to manifest and not do things to counteract that. Now, I kind of touched on this before when I was talking about desire, but one way in which you can do this is if your desire doesn't manifest instantly, you start thinking about all the ways in which your desire could fail, right? So for example, I want a job, right? You start acting with intention to get a job. You believe the universe is going to give you a job, a beautiful job, not any job, the job of your dreams, something that will satisfy your soul, but it doesn't happen instantly. And then you start having doubts. You start talking to yourself about all the ways in which you're unworthy of this job you want. Or whatever, I'm using job as an example, but whatever desire you want. Do you see how allowance is so important? We must allow. And I think allowance really comes with that faith, right? When you have faith that life is abundant enough to give you your desire, then you are able to allow it to happen, right? So I encourage you not to believe me. Believing me will get you nowhere. Test it. What do you want? What do you want from this life? What do you desire? What do you want to see? Do you have the strength to act with intention towards your desire? Do you have the faith in life that life is capable of bringing you to your desire? Do you have the patience to allow it to happen? Let me know what happens. Good luck.